And the mud flaps are all bolted on. Looking pretty good. I also bolted on the legs while I was at it. I've had some second-hand Alco ones, so it just sits down, but I've got to put a bit of grease in the hinges yet. The drifter kitchen. And there you go. That's our setup. Got the main. Just filling up the tank. I haven't finished this bit off, just waiting on some paint to dry for this little section here. Hand pump doesn't work because it's sucking air, but if we put it on lock, you can hear it draw the water up and off she goes. Oh, welcome back to the channel, guys. We're back with another off-road trailer build. We're going to build out the storage container in the back of the trailer and also the bike rack, which is all done, if you can quickly see in the background there. But before we get too into it, right now we should be up in Cape York as a family, but we didn't make it. May has ended up in the hospital with some issues, so we've put the Cape trip on hold at the moment and probably going to be cancelled by the looks of it. I don't know, we had thought maybe we'll catch up with the crew a bit later, but it's not looking real good at the moment. So with that in mind, we've still finished off the camper and we're gonna go somewhere when she gets better. We're just gonna pack up as a family and we'll head somewhere. So we'll drag you along for the ride, maybe go and check out some of the beaches up Rainbow Beach, Inskip Point area, something like that. Go and explore a bit of the Queensland countryside where it's a little bit warmer than down here in New South Wales at the moment. Anyway, here's the build series. Let's get back into it. Right, so we want to try and get the two push bikes on this side. Now I've got that old bracket, so you take the front wheel off the bike and it just drop the forks in there and it'll lock on. That's one I just had here, and I also bought this one off eBay. Little alloy unit. Hopefully it should be strong enough. It feels fairly strong. So I'm thinking we'll put one on the front here somewhere like that, and one on the back somewhere like that. Probably just need to drill the holes out, and then in between, because the bike's not quite long enough, we'll run this bit diagonally like that, so that'll pick up your wheels, pick up the rear wheel on this side and rear wheel on that side. We've got these here, but the hole's not big enough, so we're going to have to drill the hole out and then mount those two and just bolt them down. That's the plan. I'll do the same with this one. Just two bolts through the two holes, which will have to be drilled out because they're not quite big enough, and bolt that down on there as well. Then we just got to work out how to mount this on, and there we have it, all strapped up. So the front one, we've just used a little Allen key bolt down through the nut and then tightened it up onto the front forks. This crossbar, I've put in a bolt straight down through it, and it's got a couple of mil below there. I could probably get the grinder in and knock that off a bit shorter. And that just goes diagonally to the back, where it's got another two bolts which just go into the channel. And then we've also got the big bracket on the back that holds it there. And they're both on there. I think that rim needs new bearings or something.
Which one, my one?
Righto. Let's see how it goes lifting up. It's a bit heavier. Once she takes over, she's all right. That'd probably help. And we've got to build a storage box for in here. It does have to allow for the room that the kitchen will take, because parks in there. So I've got a couple of boxes that I'm not going to use in it now. I think I'll just build one big box, but I'm going to just sit these in there just to give me an idea of where the kitchen finishes, so I can work out how long I need to make this big box that goes in here. So we'll put them there, and then we'll just close the kitchen up and see where they stop, and then we can grab some measurements and start cutting out a big ply box to fit in there. I had it before, just this ply straight on the trailer, and it was sliding okay, but it was a little bit restricted, so I've added on these boat slides that I bought, one on each side, and they do lift it up off the ground a bit more. I've tapered the ends, and yeah, she just slides so much better. It's awesome. A little bit of a catch point there, but that's just this trailer lip here. Paint's come off there, which is a bit of a pain. Not much I can do about that lip. It's just part of the trailer. Anyway, I've got this front face on, but I got a funny feeling it's too high. I've chamfered the tops in on each side because it was getting caught. The trailer seems to be not so square. I'm probably going to try and bring it in a little bit everywhere and just make it a tad smaller on the insides, come up a bit higher. So yeah, just got to do that. But so this is the box so far. We put the slides underneath. I've just added in this piece. It needs more screws running underneath it and the bottom, and I've added in these two side bars. I'm going to put one through the middle, which will be central, and then we can have a big lid or two lids, don't know yet, that'll go through there. But there's enough room on there for the table to sit on, which it's sitting on the table at the moment, and probably a couple of chairs, maybe not my big one, but a couple at least. And then you've got this whole big back section, so I'm going to cut that piece to the same height as that, and that'll go on the back, and then we just got to ply off the side. So I've got some ply there that I'll cut down to go down the whole sides, and I probably could put dividers in the back box, or maybe not. I'll definitely put some more of these braces. I'll just run across the top between them. That'll just strengthen the whole thing up, and then slide it all in. So that's the project we're on at the moment. So we're just going to get that middle bar in, screw off all the bottom of that because it's only got 2 screws in it at the moment. That'll be fun to line up where that goes. But yeah, let's get into it. You end up with a 700 section here in the front, and this one here, the back section, is, I can't remember what it was actually. Measure it up. Just over 800, so it's 815, that back section. So yeah, she needs sides on it. I don't know yet. I cut a piece to go in the middle here, but I don't know if I should put it in the top there, because it'll kind of block everything up if I do, possibly. And I don't think it really needs the support either once we get the sides on it. It's not really anything weighty on top, so that's it there. So it's on boat slides, and it slides fairly easily. It's not full yet. The idea being you could pull it out to here. I've got to make a lid for this. Not sure if I'm going to make it, I think I might just make it removable lid, that you just take it off and sit the other way, but you could also have it sit in there and it's a table. So more prep bench, more space, as well as the kitchen, because you have all that space as well. But just a little bit more room, and this is pretty much going to be more food storage and cutlery, stuff like that. Everything we can't fit in the kitchen, we'll just chuck in there. And then big bulky bits like spare parts and tools, we'll probably put it up in the back of here. I'll probably need to make some sort of leg that'll support it as well, whether it's just a clip-in leg, just to take some weight when it's set up. So that's where we're at. So that's cut down. It's just held on with a clamp. Still got to smooth off this back edge, it's a little bit over. This front one I didn't get it quite right. There's a bit of a gap, but I'll just run some Sikaflex down through the gap to join them up, and I've put a taper on that corner that goes up just to help hold stuff in the side, but also makes it flow. And there it is, all mounted on, screwed up, smoothed off the corners, back edge is done, and we are into the other side. I just cut it down and about to screw it off, glue and screw. And then from there we got to build the lids for this section. A couple of lids to go in that little hole, mount the handle, and work out how we're going to put a leg on it. That's the next. Well, what a day. We have added on the outside wall, so she's got all four sides on it now. I've also added in a little wheel and some cross bracing in there. It just supports the back end a little bit. Probably don't want to leave it all the time like that, but so I'm going to make an actual leg for the front here just to take a bit more support as well. So that's next. I have mounted the handle, and I thought it was square, but now it doesn't look square. You get that though. And what else have we done? Oh yeah, we've started on this. So we drilled out a big hole to get your hand in there and grab hold of it. A couple of little stoppers on the front, and it just goes straight on there. And because of the stoppers, it can't slide forward, but you just lift it up. It's a little bit bowed, but by the time we chuck the table on it, upside down and a bit of other gear, that will level that out really well. Got another one there for this side, but it just needs to have its stoppers, hole, and give it a bit of a clean up around the edges, and then maybe blow some paint on these. Here we have the gazebo painting zone, the makeshift cover just in case it rains. Sprinkling a minute ago. So we've painted the tops all black, all the side. I Sikaflexed up the edges. It's a bit rough in spots, but as long as it's sealed, I'm happy. All the edges have been Sikaflexed up. We've painted all the outside, a bit of the inside. I left those big panels just because if water gets in that far, then we got bigger problems, bigger fish to solve. So yeah, she's all painted up. So we're back with the camper build and the big drawer. Painted it all up. Now I just got to work out how to put a stabilizing leg on it, and I've got this bit of steel here which has got a flat pin on the end, bit of box section. I think it's probably 40 mil or something like that. And I'm thinking I'm just going to mount it up on there, or mount it so it'll screw on there, but I've got to be able to make it come off and fit with that going up against it, because that pushes up against it. So what I've come up with is I'm going to use these little fellas. They're threaded and they pull in, and I'll screw probably 4 holes at 5 centimeter intervals, and then mount them through from the back, so that once they're in there, you can then have a bolt which is going to be the right thread. I'll probably have 2, and I'll put a little T-bar on them, just weld a bit of bar or something on top so that you can use it as a handle. It'll screw through the box section, so drill some holes out in that, through that, and in through the wood and screw into those there, and that'll be the supporting leg. And you just have to adjust it to the land. Like here at the moment it's a bit higher or lower, but it'll give you a 5 centimeter difference either way. Honestly, you don't need the leg until you're pulling it out past this point, and I haven't loaded the back end up at all, so probably wouldn't need it until I pulled it out further again. A little something like that. So we've just drilled a heap of holes offset. I've only got 2 bolts in there. I probably only need 2 bolts, to be honest. I don't know why I drilled 4 holes and put 4 in there, but that is sitting all the way out and it's taken the weight. It is a little rocky, but they're only done up loose. They're not done up finger tight. So I reckon that's pretty good. And I reckon it works alright. So we'll make some wing nuts for the end of those bolts, give that a paint. I'll cut this down. I'm going to glue that on the inside, which will cover up the back of those, just in case we ever get water in here. I'm thinking that was for. That way it's sealed, because I'll glue that on and it'll seal it up. And behind there, that makes that whole box sealed. So there's our leg and our 2 little turnbuckle bolts. Let's try it out. Pull the big drawer out. And there's for the bolt holes. A few of them are just screw holes to hold that bit of wood in to seal it. Just do them up tight as you can by hand. This bottom one's thread's probably got a little bit of wood in it, but it's going in alright. It makes the leg nice and solid, and it's not quite on the ground there where it is, but that's okay. Lift her up, drag her out to your desired extension, because we want to get in the back of here, and it needs a vacuum, doesn't it? Still got a little bit further we could go, but that's pretty good there. It's not too wobbly. And that's our leg all done. And that pretty much is the camper trailer ready to go. I guess we just got to pack it and hit the road.
I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, yeah. Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad on my shoulder, cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back.